What's up, guys? We're back for another review, and we're going to take a look at another of the kind of retro Toy Biz vintage style cardback Marvel Legends figures that Hasbro has started putting out. They are, I guess, technically released today. I'm filming this on November 1st, and more stores are starting to actually put them out. So we're going to take a look at Iron Man here. We've got the cool cardback with the nice artwork all over it, the big bubble on the front. And then we've got that kind of right up on the back with some shots of the rest of the figures in the line. So let's destroy this packaging and take a look. Alright guys, so here is our Iron Man figure out of the package, and this guy is essentially just a reuse of a complete figure from the 2013 wave Epic Heroes Marvel Legends after Hasbro took the reins of the line, and that was a wave that didn't have a Build-A-Figure. I think they just came with stands, and I honestly don't know if he even came with accessories in that line. I don't have him. I've never had him. I know that the one thing I can tell from the product shots I've seen of him is that the difference between these two figures that I can tell off the bat, at least in terms of what he looks like in that box, is that his hands are different. So this figure's left hand is open and the right hand is a fist. In that other figure, they were swapped. So I'm not too sure about that. Someone let me know down below. But this figure is 100% a reuse, and it is the same figure. So if you already have him, you probably don't need to open this one. It might just be something you want to keep in the package. He's an okay figure at best, I'm going to say. I like the aesthetic and I like the look of this Iron Man, but the figure itself, and one thing that I wasn't aware of when I bought him, because I clearly didn't pay enough attention, is slightly underwhelming. So let's do articulation real quick, just to get out of the way, because this is an older figure, so he actually has different articulation than we're used to on a Legends figure. The head is on a ball, it can swivel, but it has no real up or down. The shoulder armor is articulated, so that helps with the up and down movement, and they can go all the way around. My only real gripe with this kind of situation is that you can't have him go kind of forward with that arm without the armor kind of really either, one, stressing or looking kind of funny. So, you know, pose him accordingly. We've got a bicep swivel, double joint at the elbow, but it's pretty much just 90 degrees. We do have a wrist swivel as well. I keep popping these off, so watch out. And we have vertical hinges on the wrists themselves at the hands. We have one click forward. Well, he doesn't click, but you know what I mean. And then you can go backwards, waist twist. The legs are on those older style ball joints, so you can go full splits and then send them all the way around, move those balls inside the crotch. I could have said that a different way, I bet. We've got a thigh swivel, and then we have double joints at the knees. He's got boot cuts, shin swivel, and then as is the norm with these older Legends, there is no rocker at the ankle, but they have rotation, and there are hinges on the ankles, but they don't rock back and forth. Now, as far as the overall look and sculpt, I do like the figure. I like the way he looks, and I'll probably have him pose something like this on my shelf. There's not tons and tons of paint going on with this guy. He's molded mostly in the kind of marble metallic colors. So we've got the metallic chest piece and the crotch, the metallic legs, and then those boots are painted. We've got paint on the hands, obviously, and then paint on the helmet. And everything on mine is relatively clean. I don't have any issues with that. The sculpt is pretty basic. It's a classic style Iron Man, so he's not, covered in little doodads or anything like that. And I'm fine with it. I like the look. I like the sculpt. The musculature on the figure is nice, and I like this clean, older style classic armor. So I'm cool with that. He comes with 2 accessories, which is part of my gripe with this figure. Outside of the older and somewhat limiting articulation, he comes with these blast effects, and I don't have many figures that have these style effects. These were not included with the original figure. These are a more recent Marvel Legends thing. We've seen them with other Iron Man figures. We've seen them with other characters. The HasCon exclusive Deadpool, for example, has one for a muzzle flare. So I clearly didn't pay enough attention to his hands in this, and I was thinking they were going to be repulsor blasts out of his hands. They are not, because he only has one style pose hand, and he also doesn't have a hole. They're for his feet. So the only way you're ever going to use these with this figure is if you have him posed flying. And I'm probably never going to have him posed like this. I don't want to, for one. I'd rather them be shooting out of his hands. So these are I mean, we didn't get anything we weren't, really shown in the package. I just didn't pay attention, and I am slightly bummed about how I am going to probably not use these now. But they're cool effects. I like these, and like I said, I don't have these many. I don't have many of these. I have one with the Deadpool figure, and I think that's it. So I'll either have to figure out what I'm going to do with him with these, or use them in another way with another character. So at the end of the day, he is, like I said, he is okay. I don't have any Iron Man figures in my collection right now. I don't never really cared about Iron Man. He's never been huge for me, but I do like this particular design. I like that it's a comic Iron Man. I don't want 100 movie versions of Iron Man, and I like this design. It is limited with some of the older articulation that we have, but it's not too bad. It's not terrible. It's not going to ruin the aesthetic of the figure, and it's certainly not going to cause me any issues with posing him the way I plan to. The big disappointment for me comes from my lack of paying attention and those repulsor blasts, but then again, I'm sure they could have done something to allow us to use those for blasts, because not everybody has the ability to display Iron Man flying. So, just something to keep in mind. So that is going to do it for this look at the vintage retro Toy Biz style Marvel Legends Iron Man figure from Hasbro. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time, everybody.